It's called What Does D. Fox Say? So, Domonique, I'll say something and then we'll hear what you say. If I were to say Justin Fields is the Jets' long-term answer at quarterback, what would D. Fox say?
Anything is possible. I feel like it's hard to imagine a situation where a guy could bounce from team to team to team in the way that Justin Fields has and then finally land here and figure it out in the last location. So, I mean, it's possible. It's happened before, but I think it's pretty unlikely. Justin Fields is probably a bridge guy till they get a chance to draft another quarterback.
All right, we'll see. Let's go to the next one. If I were to say Dak and the Dallas Cowboys Super Bowl window is closed, what would D. Fox say?
It might come as a shock to you, and it pains me to say it, but I do think that the Cowboys' Super Bowl window is closed. It may not be for the rest of Dak's career, but what's happening in that division right now with their team and the other teams feels like the Cowboys are at best the third team in that division, which is a really hard thing to do if you're not even the best team in your division to win a championship.
All right, and then one more. If I were to say Cam Ward is going to save Tennessee from QB purgatory, what would D. Fox say?
I'd say absolutely. I mean, he's the number one overall. He's going to be the number one overall pick, and he has the ability and explosiveness to change a franchise. I think that Tennessee wouldn't be drafting him there if they didn't have this faith. It's still, again, it's a rare thing for it to happen, but it's normally going to be a guy with this level of talent. And honestly, the uncertainty about his path to Miami and to the number one overall pick gives you a little optimism that there's even more room to grow for a player like this.
Well, we'll find out. If you weren't with us on Friday, and I wasn't here, Kevin Clark took this praise of Cam Ward to a different level. Take a listen.
He could become Patrick Mahomes. I feel very strongly about this. My esteemed colleague Louis Riddick made the comparison, and I can't believe more people aren't making it, frankly. The league did not see Patrick Mahomes coming. You have to do some projection here, and what I've seen on a per-snap basis is someone who plays the very same way, who all of his flaws are through, understanding the defense's limitations, trying to play hero ball. He has Mahomes' flaws, and he has Mahomes' flash, and I think that's important in context.
Traeger?
I respect Kevin. I respect the heck out of Louis Riddick. I think that's setting up a very high bar. Now, I understand what they're saying. The off timing, the stuff off the one leg, like we've seen it, but can we rein it in a little bit? Can we rein it in just a little bit here? Patrick Mahomes was the greatest athlete on every field he has ever stepped on. Baseball, football. He didn't play football until he was a sophomore in high school and immediately became the best player in Texas and then showed up in the NFL and took the league by storm. That's a high bar. I don't know if I want to put that on Cam Ward.
I remember when I was getting set to host my first draft, the first time I was privileged enough to host the draft for this network, and there was a young quarterback who people were talking very highly about, and I heard them say, you know, he's got a little bit of Patrick Mahomes in him. Yeah. His name was Zach Wilson. Because he made this one crazy throw at a pro day. Yeah. So my point is,
how'd that work out?
We sometimes somewhat loosely throw around, he's got Mahomesian traits because he can throw the ball like this, sidearmed, and he can do it while on a dead run. I'm not knocking Cam Ward at all. I think he has a chance to be a terrific player, but I don't want to give anyone who's watching the impression that people in the league think we're about to get the next Patrick Mahomes.
I love draft comps because no one ever says, like, oh, he could be Kyle Orton. There's no, it's a lot more likely he's you know, Teddy Bridgewater, like that's, so here's the thing. Yeah, I hear what Kevin's saying, right? But there's a lot of guys that have Mahomes' flaws and have Mahomes' flash and don't put it all together. Did he grow up around pro sports like Patrick Mahomes did with his father pitching in Major League Baseball? Did he land in Kansas City with Andy Reid, with Alex Smith in front of him for a year? Like all these things that conspired to make, does he have the same kind of championship drive? We don't know that about any of these guys until we see them at the pro level, see them compete in playoff games. Patrick Mahomes has done things early in his career that no one has ever done before. If he's anything like Patrick Mahomes, he'll be very fortunate, but I just don't think that's the right way to approach sizing up a draft prospect.
Neat, quick final word.
Yeah, I was on that episode with Kevin, and I crushed him for saying what he said, but I do have to defend him a little bit. The way that he phrased it was, he's a prospect similar to Patrick Mahomes. So he's not saying that he's going to be Patrick Mahomes, because that would be asinine. He's saying that he has some of the same high-level abilities and the same drawbacks, which, I mean, it's a little bit of a trap door. If you bring up Patrick Mahomes, you know what you're doing, Kevin. You know what you're doing.
Yeah, look, I mean, if he was, I'm not knocking him at all. He deserves to be the first pick in this draft, and I hope more than anything that he has a wonderful career. If this was last year, he would have been the 4th quarterback taken. That's the reality of the situation. The 3 guys who went at the top of last year's draft would all have gone ahead of him.
I mean, like if he's Donovan McNabb, is that so bad? like seriously, right? I mean, that's a good play. Like, you don't have to be Patrick. Anyway,
100%. Anyway. Okay, let's play a new game. Schrager, you're getting used to us here at ESPN. We're getting used to you. Here's what you're going to learn about me. I love cryptic social media posts that come with no explanation. Thank you, T.J. Watt, for giving us one. The Steelers' star pass rusher just put that on his Instagram story last week, just holding up the peace sign, no explanation, hasn't come out and explained it since. The world has now written 9 million articles about how he's getting traded here, he's getting traded there, he wants out. He hasn't stepped up and said none of it is true. And so I feel that gives us free carte blanche to literally take it any way we choose. How should we take it?
There's so many different types when you go to the categories of social media and cryptic. T.J. Watt is not an elusive poster. He's not an effusive poster. He's not very vivacious on posts. Like, this is not a guy who's constantly posting about what he did for breakfast and his cold plunge and dipping his head in ice. That's not him. So it's a very rare thing for him to post anything, and for him to post the peace sign. Yes, Greeny, I think you're justified in making this a segment. Yes.
He's getting traded. He's getting traded. He wants
I don't know if I go there, but yeah.
He has 1 year left on his contract.
He wants more money.
Which means he wants a new contract. Everybody has 1 year left on the contract does. He just saw what Myles Garrett and Max Crosby got paid this offseason. You can completely speculate reasonably that this is a guy that wants more money. He had it the last time he needed a contract. It was very quiet. He was at training camp, but he wasn't doing anything. He was off to the side. It got worked out right before the season started. Who knows? Maybe we have some drama there this time.
It's nothing like middle-aged guys trying to decipher cryptic social media posts. I love it. We are getting up this morning, guys. Way to get up.
It's what's happening. Look, if I just posted this with absolutely no context to it whatsoever, you would be well within your rights to speculate about what I mean by that, because you don't. These things, you said it before. These things don't happen by accident. He knows who said that. He knows what he's doing.
Sure.
Kevin Clark, we were talking about. He knows what he's doing. You say the words Patrick Mahomes, and everyone clicks on it.
Sure.
Right? That's what's happening here. T.J. Watt wants us to wonder what he means.
But it's out of character. That's the strange thing, right? Like, if there, and we haven't heard about any kind of, tense negotiations or things, anybody insulting. It's April. Like, it's not the time of year where these things get really done anyway. I don't know.
Great final word.
I think it's weird.
Thank you, T.J. Watt. That was
yes.
great.
It's awesome. Give us a couple minutes of
final word. Is that good?
All right. So, and if there's one thing I think we've established from this, is that he's getting traded to Philadelphia.
Has to be.
Okay.